All right, guys, welcome back. We are again at the paper tuning station because with all my recurve and compound back and forth testing with the heavy arrow and the lighter arrow with the different release aids, you had the mechanical or the thumb button, the index release, and the hinge. I never actually tried the hinge with the recurve. I didn't think it was possible because it takes more minute, basically it's harder to punch. But I was like, well, I'm trying to get surprise releases with the index and the thumb button to try and have this the most fair comparison possible between the recurve and the compound. So I'm like, well, I gotta try the hinge then and see if I can get a surprise release with it. So I got it tuned up pretty hot so I don't have to hold it forever to get it to go off surprise. We're gonna go with it. I was playing around. It is possible. So we are going to try the hinge with the 2600 grain arrow and the 500 grain arrow, which we previously have featured. I got a lot of flack for staying so close to the paper tuner, and maybe I didn't make it clear, but this test is launch. It's a launch. I want to know the cleanest flight at launch because my penetration tests largely are shot from like a foot from the objects, usually water jugs, that are lined up in a perfectly straight line. This is just a penetration test, maximum penetration test at close range. This is not, we're not trying to do long range, 20 plus yard, maybe in the future, but not right now. I do want to paper tune further away, like 4 yards, so 12 feet. Apparently that's the best spot to tune, but I was also doing some research. It's not necessarily the case that if you get a bullet hole at 6 inches from paper, you're not going to get a bullet hole at 12 feet. Usually, if it's a perfect bullet hole at 6 inches, it's usually going to be a perfect bullet hole at 12 feet. That's what I've been, but not necessarily. So there's that to think of. Could probably go into that a little bit more and fine tune that. So, but when I'm shooting a foot from the objects in my penetration test, even if it did have bad flight at 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, 12 feet, whatever, as long as it's perfect in that first 12 inches, it doesn't matter because it's already entered the object and it's just going to travel straight through the stiffer material that it's traveling through. So it's not really necessary, but I do appreciate the concern and the critique. So I always want to do better, I always want to be tinkering, I always want to be getting better. So that's something that we will do in the future. But for now, we're sticking to 6 to 12 inches from paper. I did use newspaper because I want to try and get as supple paper as possible because I feel that more supple is more revealing. It's going to give you a truer gauge of how clean the flight is. It's less forgiving, you might say. It's not stiff, so it's going to expose any minute angles. I really like the recurve long bows, just the single string bows. There's something primal and medieval about it. But what I like more is absolute perfect flight. I've come to realize with all my testing that is the most important factor. Things could change in the future, but for now, as far as I can tell, that is the most important factor. Perfect air flight. I don't understand why that's not number one on the Ashby studies. They have structural integrity, but like, what good is it if your arrow stays intact but it's flying sideways? I think perfect flight is paramount to everything. I don't see why that would even be a debate, but perfect air flight is what I want more than something that's cool, primeval, medieval, whatever. So I want to give the recurve that last chance with the hinge because this, I've had the best flight for my compound with the hinge. It has beaten out the index release, index caliber, hook style, thumb button, hook style caliber. It's just beaten them all. And I think there's something to just the way it breaks. It just has, it's not even necessarily that you get the surprise every time, because I've gotten surprises with all the other releases, but this one, when it breaks, it's just super clean. There's something about it, just the sear, the moon, something, and just the way it breaks is just super clean. So that on the compound is what I think is the best right now. So we'll see if the Recurve can oust it. I'm thinking it won't, but you never know. Let's get after it. Up first, 500 grain arrow. It could just be, who knows, maybe this paper is just not giving us a clear read. So let's get the compound out and try it again. I wonder if my hat's hitting it. Still not good. All right, 2600 grainer, guys. Recurve first. Two, three, four, 2600 grain arrow. We should try an index or a thumb and see if you have any better luck. Now I'm curious. Compound bow holes are definitely better though. So there is that. I think this is with the index. 2600 grain arrow compound bow. Negative. Negative. All right, so we didn't really get any good holes with the recurve. I think our best one with the recurve was like one of these, but or maybe this one. They're pretty bad. But we had some really good compound holes. That wasn't the better one, but like this one. It's pretty much dialed. I mean, we had pretty small other compound bow holes. The ones with the Sharpie circle were pretty much dialed. There's just a slight tear up there. It's hard to see it because the there's a slight tear up there, but the compound bow was very consistent overall. And the recurve, oh, is this one different with that one? Ooh, wow, yeah, that was pretty dialed. There's a slight tear on the bottom, but overall pretty good. But the recurves, again, just not really doing it. That was terrible. So